at like 2:15. I'm gonna have to call in a sub order if that's all right.
That's fine. Yeah.
Because tonight I am seeing Bruce Springsteen
Oh, you're. Oh, okay.
at MetLife
Oh,
Stadium, and my parents are gonna pick me up a sub to eat before the show.
okay. So you do actually have to call it a sub
Oh yeah,
order.
that was serious. I'm not joking. I'm getting a
Fine.
seitan pesto hero, if you could believe it.
Sounds sounds good, I guess.
1, 2, 3, 4.
These boys only want the best stuff. They want the cream of the crop. They don't want none of that Michael Bay shit. They want the shit that pops. Oscar bait, black and white. Maybe something French. If it's got more than one explosion, honey, put that shit on the bench. Oscar Wieners, Oscar Wieners, Oscar Wieners. These boys are the Oscar Wieners.
Yum yum.
Oscar Wieners.
Welcome to Oscar Wieners,
Yes.
the only show on the internet where Hollywood's biggest night um
Did you forget?
is a Grand Hotel. I was
Okay.
trying to think of the thing that the doctor says at the end where he's like, the Grand Hotel. People come, people go.
Which honestly, he reviews his own movie in the movie, which I find miraculous.
He's basically like, this shit doesn't matter. It's just yet another story at this Grand
Yeah.
Hotel, and it
I
means
believe he
nothing.
says Grand Hotel, people coming, people going, nothing ever happens. And I'm like, oh, good. He just reviewed the film.
uh, I'm um, I'm Barrymore.
Oh, and I'm Barry Less.
Hell yeah. No, I'm Michael. He's Ander. This is
Howdy.
a show where every week we talk about movies. We talk about flicks. We talk about picks.
We talk about chicks.
uh, no, every week we pick a Best Picture winner at random and try to figure out if it was Best Picture worthy. And this week we are talking about the 1933 Best Picture winner, the only Best Picture winner to not win any other awards.
Is
Kind
that
of,
telling?
yeah. The Grand Hotel, or just Grand Hotel. Drop the directed by Edmund Goulding.
These people are mega famous for the time, right? Aren't these?
Like
This is
Greta
like your
Garbo, Joan
Avengers of the
Crawford.
day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got Greta Garbo, who plays a character named Gruskinskaya. Gruskinskaya.
I'm gonna
She's
say
like a Russian
Grusinskaya. Sure.
Grusinskaya. There we go.
Yeah.
She plays a Russian. I'm just gonna kind of give a quick overview, like a one sentence synopsis of like the main characters, like sort of thing.
Go for it.
Grusinskaya is a ballet dancer, Russian ballet dancer, and she is terrified that people, like the audience, doesn't care about her anymore, and she's sort of having an existential crisis.
Sucks.
John Barrymore plays Baron Felix von Gagern. Gagern,
We just call him the Baron.
the
Where I'm
Baron,
from. Yeah.
who owes some guy and owes a guy played by his brother Lionel Barrymore.
That's his
Um,
brother?
that's his brother. Is that right?
That's nice.
No, what am I talking about? I made that up. Scratch that. Reverse it. Forget I said that. Forget I said it.
Are you on Ludes, my dude?
I am on Ludes.
Oh, shit.
No, John Barrymore, the Baron. He
Yeah.
owes a guy some money, and
Cash.
he also falls in love with Greta Garbo's Grzinskaya,
Loves her.
uh, and he wants to pay off his debts before he commits fully to Grzinskaya.
He wants to kiss.
Then you got Joan Crawford, who plays a character named Flamchin. People call her Flem. Flemchin? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, Flemchin, I think.
Um, who is a
Nice
typist.
going, Flemchin.
You
Way to
got phlegm
go.
on your chin, you fucking nasty nerd. Um, she's a typist. She comes to the Grand Hotel to work for General Director Pricing, played by Wallace Beery. Joan Crawford wants to be an actress. Has like kind of mild aspirations to be an actress. She's a typist. She has some flirtations with the Baron.
She's a
She actually gives a
typist?
very good. I actually think her performance is really good.
Yeah, she's good, I guess.
Uh, and then we have Wallace Beery, as already mentioned, plays Pricing, who honestly, I would, if you figured out this subplot, I'd love for you to explain it to me. Something to
Okay.
do with like some deal and like Manchester falls through, and
Oh,
then
who
like
gives a shit? Who cares? I was
every
like,
time they talked about it,
they
I was
don't
like,
even
who
know.
cares?
He's a business magnate. I don't know what his business is, but it's something to do with Manchester, and he's pissed because the merger didn't go through. And aren't we
Um,
all?
and then finally there's some other like little side characters, but the final kind of main guy is Lionel Barrymore, who is John Barrymore's brother, the
Oh,
Baron's brother. He put not in the movie, but in real life. Lionel Barrymore plays a character named Otto Kringeline,
Kringline, yeah.
who is dying and has come to the Grand Hotel to sort of live out his last days in excess, get drunk, play poker,
Live it up.
just try to enjoy his time while it lasts. Also, he was a bookkeeper for Pricing, and he has like this whole. He's like, I'm gonna tell this guy off one day.
Yeah.
So there's that tension.
I mean,
Um,
if you told me that I was gonna watch a movie, you got a plot that features a baron who's secretly a thief, has this
Forgot about that. Yeah.
star-crossed lover who's a Russian dancer, and they interact with this starry-eyed stenographer who's employed by this wealthy business magnate who's secretly the subject of a revenge plot by this terminally ill man. All the while, there's this mysterious doctor with this face scar. They all meet at this grand hotel in Berlin. I would say that probably adds up to an interesting story. And
And
boy, does it not. At least in my opinion. You liked it? You actually liked this movie?
listen, I don't think it's like the best movie I've ever seen. It's still a little bit boring. There were times where I didn't watch it on 2x speed, but there were times where I was sort of listening to it like a podcast, and playing like Subway Surfer.
No, you're making that up.
No, I'm serious. Playing Angry Birds too. Um, that being said, I thought it's hard to, now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of hard to defend this movie. I think
Was
the
there any
filmmaking,
moment that made you smile?
um, hmm,
Damn.
fuck. Their performances are all pretty good, especially Joan Crawford, I think, is like a firecracker. She's very pretty. She is very charming.
She is. This is Flemchin,
This is
the
Flemchin. I think
stenographer.
she
Okay.
gives like to me like maybe the most natural performance of the movie, whereas
Yeah.
everybody's maybe a little bit heightened. Hers is like she kind of like laugh when people say stuff that's funny, like, and it doesn't feel forced. It feels like she's actually reacting like
Like a normal
organically.
person. Yeah.
Yeah, like a normal person. I don't think I've ever seen a Joan Crawford movie, so she was sort of a revelation to me.
There are moments of momentum where I was like, okay, there's potential here. And then I feel like they all fell flat so quickly. Like the premise itself, I'm sitting in this grand hotel. Let me experience the hotel. I wanted more of the magic of, like, you ever have an extended stay in a hotel where you kind of just imagine like you're living there, you create your own little routine. Maybe you come down early in the morning for coffee or whatnot. Or sometimes maybe you sit in the lobby and get a newspaper or whatever. Like, I kind of wanted it to be this little slice of life. And it wasn't really that. Like, they try to shoehorn in all this this drama, and the drama fell flat every time to me.
Where did the drama fall flat for you?
So
Just
there's the
yeah.
moment where the Baron is trying to steal Grusenskaya's pearls because he's also a thief on the side, I suppose.
He's kind of a thief. He's like more stealing the pearls to be able to like I guess pawn them and pay back his debt to this other guy.
So he's trying to steal these
Into it later.
pearls. Grusenskaya is at her show, so she's out of the room. So he
Mhm.
sneaks into her room at night and is kind of slinking around looking for pearls. And then, of course, she comes home unexpectedly, and he hears her about to come in, and it's like kind of a tense moment. Let me ask you something. What kind of music do you think you would play during a moment like this?
Um, Something like kind of like a lot of string, like a lot of like
Yeah.
tense strings.
Yeah. Or you know what? Even just nothing at all is fine. But they chose to go with like a little
Offbeat
like
jazz.
like little like upbeat. It's this big band upbeat song, and I'm just like, what are we doing here? You're completely stampeding over this potentially impactful moment. It's like
Yeah.
playing ragtime music during Jaws. Like it just doesn't fit.
Do 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 do.
Maybe it's just that my desire for what I wanted this movie to be and what it actually wanted itself to be didn't align. Like I think it more wanted it to be this fun romp, and I'm like, let me have these moments of suspense or tension, or let me go the other way and have like a slice of life little, oh, I'm living in the hotel, nice kind of feeling. It was neither of those things. It was kind of just a
Weirdly though, I don't. I did. There were times where I noticed the music like throughout the movie of just like
is it?
I'm like this could be the same like 60 seconds of like a song that they're just sort of looping the whole movie because
It
like it is
probably
really
was.
just like it's like yeah.
Hey man,
But I did
didn't
feel
tell
the
you should make
tension.
an album?
Thanks, man.
That was like really good.
It's called Snazzy Jazzy.
I like that. I like
Um,
that.
I actually did feel tension during that hotel room break-in. Like, because the Baron climbs across a balcony. He climbs across Pricing's balcony, jumps, like scales the wall, climbs over the balcony,
Yeah.
goes into Grisayen's
Grusinskaya.
Grusinskaya's room.
Yeah.
And then there's that great shot. Well, it's not like a great shot, but it's just like kind of fun where like he goes to the door won't open. All these doors, I guess, are locked from the outside. Have never really heard. You can't
Yeah, I don't
unlock
know
them
what
from the
that's
inside.
about.
Don't know what the fuck that is. Maybe in 1930 they didn't have like you needed a key to unlock a door completely at all.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
he
know.
gets stuck in the room, right? And is trying to open the door and can't get out.
Yeah, I'm like,
He's
I don't
locked in.
I didn't get it at all,
I
but
didn't
I was
get
like,
that
whatever.
either.
If that's what the scene needs, then fine. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go with it. So he's going to the door, then he hears at first it's a maid coming in. So he like
Mhm.
hides behind the door when she opens it. And then she closes it again,
Right.
and you're like, oh, is he gonna like be behind the door and she's gonna see him, or is he gonna like manage to slip by her and get out the door when she goes deeper into the room? But like he's just completely not there. He's hiding in a closet. It's just like a fun like one shot thing where the door is obscuring your view of him, and then the door closes and he's not there, and it's like, that's kind of fun.
Yeah,
Um,
it was naturally the way it's set up is tense.
yeah.
And I think they could have done so much more to make it more impactful. Like the way it resolves is stupid.
What?
right?
Yeah. What did you think of the Baron pulling the old? Oh, I've actually been your stalker this whole time routine. We've
I
all
was
been
like,
there.
what the fuck is this? I thought it was so dumb. His plan on like he's not gonna stay hidden. Grusinskaya enters the room. He's not gonna like try and leave or slip past her. He's just gonna just gonna give up the goat and be like, well, hey, I've been here. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
I heard you were sad, so I'm here to console you now. I'm like a good guy, actually.
That's the weird turn with the Baron is because when he's first introduced, and then he has that first conversation with Flemchin.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy's like a little bit sleazy. He says to her at one point, to Flemchin, like on the balcony, like or like before the whole thief stuff starts to happen. He says to her, I don't suppose you'd take some dictation from me sometime. And I was like,
I
that's so
wrote that.
nasty.
I also
And
wrote
then
that
like
too.
and then Pricing calls her into his room because she's his typist. And uh the Baron like leads her over like by her butt and then like gives her a little slap and she goes away. And I'm like, this guy's and then like she's like so excited for the date. I'm like, what? And then like uh Kringeline is like, oh, the Baron is such a good man. And I'm like, is that true? I don't know. I'm like, this guy seems like kind of like a scuzzy boy.
He seems fine for like 1930s standards, I guess.
But then
Like
he becomes
she's reciprocating at least. Like there's this little back and forth, and you're like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
this is kind of charming. It's flirtatious. It's got this air of like, ooh, I got a date at 8 o'clock in the hotel lobby. Like that's fun. I don't know.
Right. We're
And
gonna
then
go
he's like,
dancing.
oh, actually, fuck this entire date. I don't care about you. I care about this Russian dancer whose room I broke into.
Yeah, okay. So here's
And
my
that
whole take on the
fizzles out.
Baron.
Nothing really results from his almost relationship with the stenographer.
Right. Here's my whole take on the Baron. So back to the hotel room with
Yeah.
Grusinskaya. He reveals himself that like he's been her stalker the whole time. I don't know if like obviously it is a lot of a lie. I don't know if it's totally a lie though. Is he lying that like he's actually been obsessed with her for a long time? Obviously he's not like following her around, I don't think.
I thought it was a lie. I
Just a
don't know
complete lie.
when. I, I couldn't pinpoint exactly like when he developed true feelings for her. I think it was like just they talked and talked throughout the night until morning came. And
Yeah,
I think he kind of switched at some point during that time.
that's the thing I think that's I don't have a problem with it, but also I'm a little bit like so the Baron falls in love with Grusinskaya. She
Yeah.
falls in love with him by like literally the next like they just stay up all night talking after the Baron breaks into her room and then in the morning they're in love.
And they're going to Paris to get
And they're going to
married.
Paris. Yeah. But here's the thing. I was thinking about you watching this and I feel like you were going to be like this is some 1930s ass.
Oh,
They've known each other for 14 hours and now they're in love shit. But
this is possibly the most egregious example of that, frankly.
why I think it kind of a little bit works. I mean, I don't think there's enough of like because after that initial scene, you never see Grusinskaya and the Baron like interact really for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, which
And
if
you're
I'm
like,
if I'm gonna believe their relationship, I need to see them doing something.
yeah, like he interacts with Flemchin more than he interacts with Grusinskaya.
Not even with her. She's kind of gone for a while too.
Yeah.
He just runs into her again. Is like, oh no, he goes on the date with her. I guess you know what? You can't like call someone up, right, and be like, hey, sorry, I can't make this date.
I'm in love. I'm quasi engaged.
Well, he shows up to the date and says, and she's like, "What have you been up to?" And he's like, "Oh, I met somebody." Like, what the fuck?
It's
What
kind
an
of a funny
ass.
story. I broke into her room.
It's like you wouldn't understand. It's just like, oh, love at first sight, you know?
I
I
buy that romance a little bit more and it developing so quickly because of what Grusinskaya's vulnerability brings out in the Baron. I'm like, I could see that being a thing, even if it's a little rushed and crazy.
I guess it's somewhat valiant that he decided to reveal himself, just to potentially to console this woman who is potentially going to commit suicide. I guess that
Yeah.
makes sense. But he then gives her the reason that he's his stalker and he's like fixated on her. I feel like that's just such a toxic overcorrection. You know what I mean? He's like, "Oh, don't kill yourself. I love you." You know
Right,
what I
right.
mean?
I'm obsessed with you, even if other people aren't.
Yeah, and that just feels kind of grimy too. So I don't know. Even the quote unquote good things he does, I think, are kind of sullied.
Right. Well, that's what's so interesting about the movie is like, especially by the end, like after he falls in love with Grusenskaya, he does start just being like the best guy you've ever seen. He's like, "Hey Flemchin, do me a favor, dance with Kringeline. He really could use a pretty girl dancing with him." And
Yeah,
like,
the movie definitely wants to set him up as he's like this ultimate good guy, if not an anti-hero or something.
yeah, I mean, he's
Because
literally a
he's a
fucking
thief, but
right. He's
whatever.
literally a martyr because then suddenly at the end, like there's a murder and it's the Baron is dead.
Fuck off with that shit. I was like, oh, so he's dead now. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like it invoked, there was no drama or suspense injected to it at all. He just gets into a fight with the rich dude
Pricing.
and just gets shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. I guess I'm sad now. I don't know. I don't even know what to feel. It's just so flat.
Here's why I think it works.
Oh, oh my God. Okay, fine.
Here's
How
the
does
thing.
it
Here's the
work?
thing. I think it's an interesting subversion because the Baron, as I've said, owes some strange, mysterious figure $5,000. Throughout the movie, this guy just comes up and he's dressed in like a limousine driver's outfit. Like, I'm like, is this guy driving limousines for the hotel? Like, who is he? He's just like, or he looks like he's like
Who?
riding. He's like that
The
guy in like the gray cap and he has like his pants tucked into these like tall black boots and he's like kind of buttoned up.
He's like, I don't know, also a thief. He's in disguise.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah. So, that happens throughout the movie. And then the guy's basically like, I or we, whoever he's a part of or whatever he says, he's like, you're gonna die if you don't pay us soon. Like, if you don't pay us like in the next day, we're gonna kill your ass.
Yeah.
And so I think it's an interesting because like you already have that in your head. You're like, oh God, the Baron's like literally in life-threatening danger. And then for him to be killed by pricing to me is like an interesting subversion. It's like all you're because like when he's in that scene, at least for me when I was watching it, I'm like, so he breaks into Pricing's room because again he needs money. He gives Grusenskaya back her pearls. At one point he tries to steal Kringeline's wallet, but then like Kringeline is like so distraught that he doesn't have the money. That he's like, I can't do this to this man who is dying and obviously who like wants to just like have a good life while he can and needs the money
Yeah.
to do it. So he gives him back the wallet. So he's like, what if I broke into Pricing's room and stole his wallet? So he goes in. Pricing discovers him. Pricing kills him. And there's the tension of like when he in that scene, I'm like, he's not gonna nothing bad is gonna happen because it's the other guys who want to kill the Baron, and like that's gonna be like that's the life-threatening danger. He's gonna get out of this pricing situation. It's probably gonna be like a little weird and it'll be fine. But then pricing fucking kills him with like a telephone. He like bashes him with like a telephone or something.
Well, yeah, he dies. He just gets. It's a very
Bludgeoned to death.
lame death. He gets bludgeoned to death, but like not in a way that you would expect. He just gets like conked on the head with a phone, and he's just dead.
No,
Like
but
I
then
don't
it
know if
cuts
he
to
had.
pricing on him and he's like he keeps going.
I don't know. I think maybe the Baron had like high blood pressure or something. Like something else killed him. I think. I don't think it was really pricing.
I just thought that was interesting.
I didn't think it was interesting.
I
I just
thought
did
it was
not.
bad and stupid.
I mean, don't kill your. He's the focal point of this whole movie. Why does he have to die plot wise? It's so much more beneficial to your story if he gets to stay and we get to see what happens to him. What happens to Grusenskaya? We don't even find out what happens to her. I guess just fuck her, right? She just leaves, and then there's no. She never really finds out, or at least we don't see her find out that he's dead.
And even the hotel staff managed not to let her find out that the Baron died, and she's just gonna go on the train that he was supposed to meet her on. And I'm like, she's gonna eventually he's not gonna show up. She might not find out he's dead, but like she's gonna be distraught when he doesn't show up and depressed, and she's gonna be back where she was when the movie started.
Yeah, her whole team is like, oh, maybe he's on the train. We gotta go. We
Yeah,
gotta
because
get
somehow
out of here.
Grusenskaya manages to not hear that he was killed or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do her character a little dirty that way.
Yikes. I mean, look. Do I have to say it? Am I gonna have to say it? if you want a more exhilarating version of this, go watch the Grand Budapest Hotel. I think you knew I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if Wes Anderson watched this and said like I could do this better, but it's everything that you imagine this to be. It's the Grand Budapest Hotel is. Even just from the musical perspective, like when you watch Grand Budapest Hotel, all the scenes are thrust forward with like this heartbeat, like bum 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 bum. It's exciting. Every movement is exciting, and here it's just like like it's so flat and it ends up being boring. I think there's so
Yeah.
who directed this? Who did this? Who's the guy?
Edmund Goulding? Edmund Goulding.
Eddie Gould should have taken a page out of the Grand Budapest Hotel playbook. You should have watched that first and then made his movie.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Grand Budapest Hotel is a better movie than this
Maybe
by
it's
far.
maybe it's an unfair comparison, but I don't know.
Now we're just talking about comparisons between these two movies because they both have the words grand and hotel in the title. But
I mean,
Grand Budapest Hotel, you do get a better sense of like the hotel. I mean,
yes,
but also
yes, you do.
Wes Anderson, they give that guy a budget because he's an artist, and like this movie was made in the 30s, so it's like you got one sort of big
That's
chunk
fair.
of wall for the hotel, and then you got a couple rooms, and that's all you got.
That's fair.
Got to make it work.
But I think there was still so much that they could have done in terms of the charm of the hotel that I felt was lacking. Like the scene where they're all in they're all dancing in the ballroom. Like that was nice. That could have I don't know. Tonally I was expecting more things like that. Like let me live in the hotel. And instead I was sitting in the dark in my room staring at this fucking movie. It's like I want to be somewhere else.
I actually like the way Kringeline and Flemchin's story resolves. I think it's kind of nice. Like they both sort of are like, we're gonna go off together, and Flemchin, when I die,
Yeah,
you'll inherit my money because you deserve it because you're a very nice lady.
I did think that was nice. They go on where do they go? Paris? Because
I think so.
What is his name? The
Kringeline?
rich guy? No.
Oh, pricing.
Pricing was going to take he was basically kind of like low-key forcing Flemchin to go on this weird European excursion with him, but instead he's in jail now, so she's like, I'll take this dying guy so we can forget about this whole mess. It was kind of nice.
Yeah, it was nice. I like that Kringeline, as he's leaving the hotel, he's like, forward. He's like, where do you want the hotel people are like, where do you want your mail forwarded to? And he's like, the Grand Hotel in Paris, of course. And then Flemchin's like, there's a Grand Hotel in Paris. He's like, there's a Grand Hotel in every goddamn city in the world. And I'm like, you don't know that. Kringeline, you started living 48 hours ago. Like, don't assume shit,
Listen, I get that you're kind of dying, but know your place, Kringeline, okay? You should just take it easy.
At least understand the rules of the goddamn world. Christ.
See, my reaction was, this is a franchise. Like there are more locations. This hotel is that successful.
Yeah. So other nominees, obviously Grand Hotel, a Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer picture, one outstanding production at the Oscars that year.
Nice.
Other nominees include, I want to see your face when I say this title, Aerosmith.
What?
Directed by John Ford, a director who directed How Green Was My Valley, so we'll talk about him at some point.
Cool.
Or How Green Was His Valley, or How Green Was Your Valley, whatever the fuck the name of that movie is. Aerosmith is about a medical researcher who is sent to a plague outbreak where he has to decide priorities for the use of a vaccine.
That's it?
Yeah, I don't believe in vaccines either, so I don't really like.
Yeah, it's kind of little.
I'm kidding, guys. Get vaccinated. Next up we have Bad Girl.
Ooh. How bad is she?
Pretty bad, I guess. Directed by Frank Borzich.
Frank,
A man and woman, skeptical about romance, nonetheless fall in love and are wed, but their lack of confidence in the opposite sex haunts their marriage. Don't know what that
Wait,
means.
what?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Next up, we have The Champ.
Oh,
Directed
congratulations.
by King Vidor. Famously made the very famous silent film The Crowd. Um,
Can't say I've heard
this
of it.
the Champ. What?
Can't say I've heard of it.
It's pretty good. The Champ is about a broken down alcoholic prize fighter who struggles to keep custody of his adoring son.
Okay.
Sounds pretty good. I feel like
Yeah.
King Vidor maybe makes movies that are like kind of he makes like realism movies or something. I don't know. Like that seems like a more realistic plot than like a guy's trying to make a vaccine and guess who he has to deal with? A
Fun.
snazzy girl with a lot of gumption or whatever. Next up, we have 5-star Final. Ever heard of it?
No, but I give it 5 stars.
Hell yeah. Directed by Mervyn LeRoy.
Mervin?
Mervyn.
This fucking guy has the
Fucking
gumption to be Mervin.
Mervyn.
In
Everybody was
public.
named Mervyn in 1930.
I
Fucking
like
one.
to merv it. I like to merv it.
Searching for headlines at any cost, an
Merv it.
unscrupulous
Merv it.
newspaper owner forces his
Merv
editor
it.
to print a serial based on a past murder, tormenting a woman involved. That sounds all right.
What? A cereal? Oh, like a serial story?
Yeah, like a serialized story.
Okay.
Next up, we have 1 Hour with You, an Ernst Lubitsch film. I've never seen any of his movies. He's very famous, though. So maybe I should start. Fucking Andre. This one's about you.
Cool.
Andre and Colette Berthier are happily married. When Colette introduces her husband to her flirtatious best friend Mitzi, he does his best to resist her advances. But she is persistent and very cute, and he succumbs. Mitzi's husband wants to divorce her and has been having her tailed. Andre gets caught and must confess to his wife. But Colette has had problems resisting the attentions of another man herself, and they forgive each other. Why did that tell me the end of the movie? What the hell, Letterboxd?
Here's the synopsis, and also how it ends. Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That sounds pretty good, I guess.
I don't know. It sounds like it's gonna be a lot of running around, and
You're too tired for that.
I could just smell the nonsense coming from it. I don't know.
I mean, I think it was like 80 minutes long, so if that's any consolation.
If it's funny, I'll watch it.
Next up, we have Shanghai Express, directed by Joseph von Sternberg.
Okay.
This one's simple. A
Yeah.
beautiful temptress rekindles an old romance while trying to escape her past during a tension-packed train journey.
That
Sounds
sounds
pretty good.
nice. Oh God, just once in my life, I want to be referred to as a temptress.
Listen, I'd call you a temptress.
Just to have that be part of my character.
And the final goddamn nominee is The Smiling Lieutenant. The Smiling Lieutenant. Another Ernst Lubitsch film. I guess he had two
Wow.
movies nominated for Best Picture this year.
Prolific.
Oh God. All right. A Simple Wink, intended by Austrian palace guard Lieutenant Nicholas von Prine for girlfriend Franzi, is accidentally intercepted and misread by the visiting Princess Anna. As a result, the soldier has no choice but to marry the royal lady and move with her to...
That's what happened.
As a result, the soldier has no choice but to marry the royal lady and move with her to the neighboring kingdom of Flossentherm. His girlfriend follows to continue the romance and subversively give Princess Anna tips on how to keep her husband satisfied. That's fucking crazy. Imagine winking at somebody and now you're a prince. Now you're Prince of fucking Flossentherm.
That's my dream. To be the Prince of Flossentharp at nothing but a wink.
That's the most 30s ass shit where it's like you wink at somebody and it's like you're married.
I would honestly, I want to watch that right now.
Yeah,
That
it sounds
sounds
pretty good.
so
It's
fucking
89
good.
minutes, so
Let me put it in my hands, put it in my eyes, and bring peace among nations.
and I love that his wife just or
This-
his girlfriend just completely understands. She's like, I get it. I know how sometimes you accidentally wink at somebody or somebody misreads your wink as for them and then you're a prince. And so I
Look,
have to come with you and make this ruse seem legitimate.
that's
We've all been there.
certifiable. Yeah, we've all been there.
That's all I got. Oh, do you think this movie's best picture worthy?
No, I give it
Nah,
to the Smiling Lieutenant just for being.
same.
It the Smiling Lieutenant's description brought me 8 times more joy than Grand Hotel did.
Yeah.
I mean, would you like
Got
to
it.
hear what some other folks had to say about Grand Hotel?
I'm not only I not only want to, I'm sort of itching for it.
Okay. I found a couple. Here's some reviews that I found online. I I knew I was going to be a little bit maybe overcritical of this. I wanted to find something to balance out that criticism. So I found some positive reviews.
Nice.
Give me the name of somebody who's just having a blessed day.
Joel Osteen.
Joel Osteen says 4 stars. An early prototype for the intersecting multiple character plot. Here, it's 5 different people staying at the Grand Hotel in Berlin. A baron, a ballerina, a stenographer, a dying man, and a businessman, who all cross paths in one way or another. The film was publicized as a Battle of the Stars, and director Edmund Golding was nicknamed the Lion Tamer because of the number of high-profile actors: Greta Garbo, John Barrymore, Lionel Barrymore, Wallace Beery, Joan Crawford, and Louis Stone. It's such a treat to see these great actors work together, and the simple plot is surprisingly compelling. Plus, you get to hear Garbo say, "I want to be alone."
Yeah, you know that's one of the most famous lines. Like that was voted like one of the most famous lines in movies. Like up there with like fucking I'll have what she's having.
I want to be alone?
Yeah. I was like,
From this
what?
movie?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm like, that's kind of nothing. I mean, like it,
That's
in context it works, I guess, but I'm like, there's nothing really iconic about it.
it's like saying "How do you do?" and that being the one of the best lines in cinema. It just doesn't feel right. There's no weight behind it or anything.
There's no there.
There's no there. Give me the name of somebody who's just bouncing a ball on the playground.
Ernst Lubitsch.
Ernst says, "This is a great example of the power of MGM in early Hollywood. They assembled the most star-studded ensemble cast that to date, featuring actors. I have trouble with some early talkies, just because they're so much less visually engaging than the silent films, and they hadn't totally figured out how to take advantage of sound. You could say that again. That being said, the way many of these films explore the wealth inequality typically towed the line between escapist and real. Often, our heroes are poor people who have infiltrated high society. This film is damn important in the history of Hollywood history. Though I think there are comedies that hold up a little bit better from this era. It's a little bit rambly, but it does a good job of setting the scene of the hotel. If I leave you with anything, it's watch more classics."
Actually, I kind of agree with the I think this movie actually is kind of or maybe I think this person isn't saying the opposite. But I actually think this movie's visually pretty good.
Okay.
It's got some push-ins, it's got some dolly outs, it's got some stuff. It's not like the best looking movie I've ever seen, but it's more competent than some of the other shit we've watched.
Yeah, it's got a little bit, I suppose. I thought it was a
Uh,
nicely. I disagree mostly with that review. I thought it was, but it was nicely worded, and I appreciate your opinion. Give me the name of somebody named Chris.
um Christopher Plummer.
Okay. Christopher Plummer says, "Damn, this shit boring AF. Literally couldn't get into it at all. So I just scrolled through TikTok the whole time. But I give it an extra half star just because I really wasn't paying attention."
God.
There you go.
Sometimes I love our stupid culture. It was boring AF, so I just kind of scrolled through TikTok. I watched a pretty good video where it's 3 screens within this one screen, and it's a woman cooking, chopping some onions. It's fucking a Subway Surfer thing, and then it's another girl telling a really disturbing story from her life. And I was sort of really into that.
Oh, while I'm watching this movie from the 1930s, like I love the thought that this person sat down to watch a movie from 1930.
Yeah, it's like,
You'd think you'd have some patience.
Yeah.
But teach their own. C'est la vie.
C'est la vie.
Enough said. That's all I got.
That's all you got. Next week, we are going to talk about Chariots of Fire. Fuck it.
Ooh.
1981 movie.
That's
it's
not
a
what I
historical sports drama about 2 determined young runners who trained for the 1924 Paris Olympics. So next week, Wieners, watch Chariots of Fire so you can hear our discussion about it, I guess. Or don't. I don't fucking care.
Mean.
I have to order a sub, man. I'm trying to get us out of here.
Fine. Go order your sub.
So until next time, make sure to dip your fanny in some mustard and let your beloved take a little munch.
Beautiful.
See you next week, Wieners.
1, 2, 3, 4. These boys only want the best stuff. They want the cream of the crop. They don't want none of that microbait shit. They want the shit that bops. Oscar bait, black and white. Maybe something French. If it's got more than one explosion, honey, put that shit on the bench. Oscar Wieners. Oscar Wieners. Oscar Wieners. These boys are the Oscar Wieners.